A truck that went into a river in Anderson County led to a search, but it's now led to charges against the driver.
And the Kentucky Horse Park makes a big decision regarding a possible late push to host the 2018 World Equestrian Games. What they had to say ahead at 4.
WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
And welcome to WKYT News at 4. Sam Dick and Andrea Walker reporting. Amber has the afternoon off. It is Friday, which is a very good thing.
Thank goodness.
Not all of us will have to deal with rain today, but if you get under a shower, watch out for high water.
That's exactly right. There's still a threat for flooding due to yesterday's soaking rains. That's why our WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day remains in place. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Yeah, those thunderstorms that are out there now, especially across southern and southeastern Kentucky, packing a big-time punch with a lot of lightning and a lot of heavy rains, just as we expected. This line of thunderstorms sweeping its way across Interstate 75 over the past hour. It's picking up in coverage. It's picking up in steam. It may have some high winds as it rolls its way toward Hyden and Harlan. It's almost bowing out here just a little bit. When I start to see that signature showing up on a radar, that is sometimes an indicator of some high winds trying to develop within this storm. It is right on top of the Middlesboro area up toward Pineville, and that extends toward the east into western parts of Harlan County. A lot of thunder and lightning here in Manchester, Clay County, right on top of the Leslie County line. Watch those creeks and streams. That line extends toward the east here across parts of northern Perry County and into Hindman into Knott County. And there's almost a little bit of an axis here trying to form. So we have this one thunderstorm that is on top of the Hindman area now, and additional thunderstorms coming in behind it. Watch that flash flood thread in that narrow little zone. A little farther to the north, it becomes more scattered. Then you get into the Lexington metro, and skies are darkening very quickly. And on the south side of Lexington into northern Madison County, right on top of the river and into parts of Jessamine County, a little thunderstorm that is going up here. Southern Kentucky, still some light to moderate rains west of London toward the Louisville area. Scattered thunderstorms are increasing there. We're going to continue to see these waves of thunderstorms coming your way for the next few days. We'll track that with a hour-by-hour weekend forecast when I come back in a few.
Chris, thank you. A man who was in a truck that was swept away by floodwaters in central Kentucky has been found safe.
Now, police say a truck driver tried to cross the Salt River on Rice Road in Anderson County last night when it got carried away. As Victor Puente tells us, the driver told police he was able to escape through a back window. It's our top story at 4.
This started last night as a search for the driver of a truck that went into the Salt River. It's ended with that driver facing charges. Around 11 o'clock last night, emergency crews made their way out Rice Road down to the Salt River after a driver reported seeing a pickup being swept away. The search went late into the night and resumed this morning, but came to an end with a call to police. The Lawrenceburg police chief says the truck's owner, Ronnie Stratton, called 911 this morning and reported that truck stolen from his home on David Drive. He said that call came in just as rescue crews were about to get into the water to attempt a recovery mission if there was someone in the truck. They put that mission on hold while his detective continued to interview Stratton. He says Stratton eventually admitted that he's the one who drove the truck into the water. He said Stratton said he'd been drinking, and when he drove the truck into the water, he jumped out, was able to make it to the road where a friend picked him up.
It's better to be honest from the get-go and just face those consequences, because you learn at an early age through your parents, the more you lie, the more trouble you're going to get into. And that's what you have here.
Stratton is charged with falsely reporting an incident, which is a misdemeanor. But Atkins said it's possible some of the organizations that took part in that rescue may ask him to reimburse them for the cost. In Anderson County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
We understand Stratton's truck is still in the river. The chief said he did not know if it would be possible to pull it out. Now to some breaking news. We're tracking out of Clay County. Police are looking for a man they say is wanted for a string of crimes, including one this morning. They've been searching for this man, Tim Lawson, since Wednesday after they say he stole a car in Clay County. But this morning, police say Lawson broke into an Owsley County home and exchanged gunfire with the homeowner. They say Lawson then stole a car from that home. The Manchester Enterprise reports police later found that car on Little Bullskin Road in Clay County, but no sign of Lawson. Keep checking WKYT.com and the WKYT News app for updates on that situation.
A 13-year-old has been arrested and charged with assaulting her great-grandmother. The Whitley County Sheriff's Office says the girl hit the woman and sat on her during an argument over an iPad. The 72-year-old was treated for injuries to her head and neck at UK Hospital. The sheriff tells us the woman was raising the teenager.
To me, it's just repulsive that this would happen. But this day and time, we're seeing a lot of children raised by the grandmother, great-grandmothers. Not that common, but it happens. This child had been raised by the great-grandmother. It takes a good person, a real good person, to take on a child in this mannerism.
The teen is being held at the Breathitt County Juvenile Detention Center. Her great-grandmother has been released from the hospital. We'll have the latest on the case on WKYT News at 4:30.
The Kentucky Tourism Cabinet says it will not try to host the 2018 World Equestrian Games. This after a Canadian city suddenly pulled out. After a lot of discussion, the state says that 2 years is just too little time, too short of a notice. The Kentucky Tourism, Arts, and Heritage Cabinet says that the 2010 Games contributed more than $200 million to Kentucky's economy. But in a statement just released, the Cabinet and the Kentucky Horse Park agreed that hosting the Games 2 years from now would put taxpayers at too much of a risk. The Kentucky Horse Park says it is preparing a strong proposal, though, for the World Equestrian Games in 2022.
Police are asking for help to identify a suspect in a counterfeit money case. Police say this man came into the Richmond Walmart and paid for $300 in items using fake 20s. If you have any information, call Richmond Police. We'll have the latest in the investigation on WKYT News at 5:30.
Now to some stories making headlines across the nation here at 4 o'clock. Florida health officials have confirmed that 4 people in 2 South Florida counties have been infected with the Zika virus by mosquitoes here in the U.S.
These are the first known cases of transmission by local mosquitoes. Steve Nannis reports.
Florida officials say the first U.S. cases of the Zika virus transmitted by mosquitoes have been found in South Florida.
They're all active Zika cases and have not exhibited symptoms to be admitted to the hospital.
The Florida Department of Health said it hasn't found any mosquitoes in either Miami-Dade or Broward counties with the virus, but believes 4 people, 3 men and 1 woman, contracted the disease locally within 1 square mile section of South Florida.
While no mosquito traps have tested positive for the Zika virus, the Department of Health is aggressively testing people in the affected area to ensure there are no other cases of this virus.
Director of the National Institutes of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, Dr. Anthony Fauci, said Friday U.S. transmission of the virus was almost inevitable and that there will likely be more cases.
The critical issue is to make sure that those local cases don't become disseminated and don't become sustained. And the way you do that is with very aggressive mosquito abatement programs.
Since it is possible for someone to have the Zika virus and not know it, and there is no known cure, blood donation centers in the area have stopped accepting donations from people who live in the affected areas. Florida Governor Rick Scott says he's contacted the federal government for help and is allocating more funds to try and fight the spread of the disease.
Now that Florida has become the first state to have a local transmission, likely through a mosquito, we will continue to put every resource available to fighting the spread of Zika in our state.
In Washington, I'm Steve Nannis reporting.
More Americans are heading outdoors, a large group being Millennials. Coming up in Money Watch, how they're doing it while staying connected.
And home ownership is way down. Find out why coming up on WKYT News here at 4. Home ownership is at its lowest level in more than 50 years, and that begins today's Money Watch.
Just under 63% of Americans own their homes, according to the Census Bureau. The number has been moving lower since 2004. Why? More young people are putting off home ownership, getting a loan has become harder, and fewer homes are up for sale. Boeing says it may end production of its iconic 747. The airplane helped make air travel affordable when it was introduced in 1968 and has flown the American president as Air Force One for the last quarter century. But production is already down to 6 planes a year, and Boeing says it could be stopped completely within the decade. A report says nearly 1 in 3 Americans went camping in 2015. Last year, people from more than 1 million household camps for the first time. Nearly half were Millennials.
But this generation is changing the way people enjoy the great outdoors. And as you'll see in this report, 18 to 35-year-olds want more modern-day amenities in the great outdoors, like Wi-Fi.
All right.
For these 10 friends looking for the perfect camping spot, nothing beats Catalina Island, which sits about 20 miles off the California coast.
Millennials are looking for unique destinations. We'll go the extra mile if it affords us an experience that not everyone else is having.
Travel blogger Trevor Morrow camps around the world, regularly posting pictures for his more than 8,000 Instagram followers. Like many millennials, part of what drew him to this campsite were the amenities. The island campground provides all the basics like tents and stoves, along with stand-up paddleboards and kayaks. It also provides easy access to Wi-Fi.
For those people that say, this is not camping, how do you respond to them?
I say camping can be whatever you want it to be.
Campgrounds of America, the world's largest system of privately held campgrounds, is now redesigning some of their nearly 500 North American campgrounds to include features younger campers value. Sites like GetOutfitted.com offer weekend gear rental. Other startups like HipCamp, an online Airbnb-type rental, make it easier for users to find and reserve unique spots.
I say wherever you feel comfortable in the wilderness, as long as you get outside and enjoy nature, I just say go for it.
Making this the next generation to discover what makes the great outdoors so great. Mireya Villarreal, Catalina Island.
An upcoming self-defense class you and yours could benefit from. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about with a preview when we return here on WKYT.
Hey, it's another day. It means another round of thunderstorms out there. We're tracking them to start the weekend, and we'll show you how your Saturday and Sunday are looking up next. It is WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. Thunderstorms that are out there again today, putting down a lot of lightning and a lot of heavy rain. We've had a big complex of storms working out of western Kentucky, where we've had some flooding today, across southern Kentucky into the southeastern corner of the state, where some local high water issues are a possibility over the next hour and change. And then between Lexington and Richmond, nice little complex of thunderstorms all of a sudden going up. A lot of thunder and lightning barreling across parts of Bell County and into the downtown Harlan area right now. That extends to the north. Folks around Pine Mountain up into Hyden, Manchester, over toward Hazard and Hindman, get ready. You've got a lot of rain coming your way, and it's going to get noisy over the next 15-20 minutes or so. To the north of that, it's a little more isolated until you get into central Kentucky. Right on top of the river, we are seeing some big-time thunderstorms that are now beginning to go up. Over the past 5 minutes, the amount of lightning with this has really increased down around the Valley View area, south of Athens, south of the Childsburg area. Right on top of 75, as you cross out of Fayette County into Madison County, or you cross out of Madison County into Fayette County, you're getting in on some heavier downpours. That extends a little farther to the northeast. Live Skycam here at the station showing the tropical look on those thunderstorms that are just 2 hours south on Winchester Road. And again, this action is going to extend to the east. So folks around the Red House area, into southern parts of Clark County, this storm is trying to extend to the northeast toward Mount Sterling as well. We'll have to keep a very close eye on it. It is really ramping it up over the past 5-10 minutes or so, putting down a tremendous amount of rain. And remember, Clark County, you had some flooding issues yesterday, so it won't take much to cause some local high water issues. Wayne County into Whitley City, McCreary County, a lighter brand of rain, starting to pick up on a little flash or two of lightning west of Louisville. Western Kentucky, mentioned earlier, picked up several inches of rain again last night and this morning. Cold front is off to our west. Area of low pressure is going to make its way toward the east. So as we go through the next 3 days, that's your weekend. Similar setup to what we have today. Not going to rain everywhere, not going to rain all the time. When it does, it's really going to come down. And a few storms will be around tomorrow with some locally heavy downpours. At some point this weekend, we're likely to get in on a potent little cluster of some thunderstorms that can drop even heavier amounts of rain. That may carry us into Monday as well, as the overall setup just does not show a ton of change over the next few days. We said this yesterday, models are going to struggle in trying to pinpoint where these thunderstorm clusters will be. Thunderstorms a little too smart for the models to figure out sometimes. As we go into tomorrow, I think this is undercooked with the amount of thunderstorm action. We are likely to see these clusters that have a lot of lightning and a lot of heavy rain. Tries to play a little catch-up tomorrow evening. We go into the day on Sunday with the potential for, again, some scattered thunderstorms around. It's a muggy, tropical feel to the sky this weekend. And we're going to watch the thunderstorm threat that will continue to ramp it up just a little bit. Over the next few days, thunderstorms are going to continue into most of the area. That'll carry us into next week as well. Let's get a check on traffic now. Here's Officer Don.
A couple of things. Got a crash outbound Winchester Road. This one's just past the interstate. 2 cars involved. No injuries in that collision. 75 looks okay right now between the northern and southern split, other than the weather that folks are having to drive through there in Madison County. Drive times right now to Nicholasville, 12 to 15 minutes. To Versailles, looks like less than 15. Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Don. Do you know how to protect yourself? Regardless of your size or strength, there is always something you can do to avoid becoming a victim of violence.
Deanne Stevens is out and about today. She joins us from Cycle U, where they are preparing for a self-defense class. Hey, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are here at Cycle U, where these young ladies are learning a few self-defense tactics. We're going to be checking in with them. But there's a self-defense class that is offered for you. It's happening here next week, but you got to get signed up now. Don Scott is with us, and I love hearing from you saying the reason why you guys are doing this.
Oh, yeah. Noelle and I both have young daughters. Well, I have young daughters. Noelle's are a little bit older. And so we know how important it is for women to feel safe. Here at Cycle U, we're really strong on teaching how to be strong in mind, body, and spirit. So we wanted to offer this opportunity to young ladies who might be going back to college, maybe freshman college, or even ladies our age that just want to learn. Mostly they're going to learn how to assess dangerous situations, avoid them, and then if they find themselves in an unsafe situation, how to get out of it. Right. The likelihood of taking down a 200-pound strong man is pretty rare, but if they can get out of the situation, that's the most important thing.
Now, we say it's perfect timing because they're headed back to school, but any time is a great time to learn stuff like this. Talk a bit about that. And unfortunately, we need to know this kind of thing.
Yes, I think it's so important as women. We find ourselves in lots of situations, maybe in a parking lot late at night. If you work in a restaurant and you're leaving late at night and people know that you have cash and you're in a dark parking lot, a dark alley, anywhere, it's important to feel safe and feel empowered that you know how to get out of that situation if you find yourself in that dangerous situation.
Okay, so this is open to anyone, though. You don't have to be a young college student. No. You know, I said, I want to sign up. I want to take the class.
Yeah, even men can take this class. Men, women of all ages. It's open to anyone. Okay. We just mostly thought of it because school was coming back, and we thought, oh, let's just get this going, get the ball rolling.
And you got a perfect instructor from it. We're going to hear from Lane coming up here at 4:50 and learn some self-defense tactics ourselves. Now, how do you register? You go online. It's simple to do, or call Cycle U, cycleulexington.com. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. More on the self-defense class when we return here at 4:50. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Deanne. An unusual way to improve your memory. That's ahead in Better Living.
And new hope for women battling ovarian cancer.
Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $20 million, and look out, tomorrow's Powerball jackpot, now a whopping $478 million.
Now it's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. British researchers have discovered that women with ovarian cancer usually have high levels of a certain protein in their fallopian tubes. They say testing women for the protein may help detect tumors before they become cancerous. New research finds that hormones used to treat high blood pressure and heart issues can lower metabolism and lead to obesity. Doctors at the University of Iowa hope the finding will lead to new ways to treat obesity. And there may be a way to improve your memory while you sleep. A new study from North Carolina, researchers shows patients who receive electric brain stimulation while they sleep have better scores on memory tests. Summertime is prime time for fresh produce from the farmer's market, but if you're not a regular, you may have some questions about what to look for and what's healthiest for your family. Karen Katha has tips.
Thank you. Part of the fun of the farmers market can be getting to know the farmers, but chatting up vendors can also be a good opportunity to verify the freshness and safety of produce. Ask how long they've been farming, where the farm is located, and when fruits and vegetables were harvested. The Alliance for Food and Farming recommends asking vendors to clarify and confirm statements like certified organic and pesticide free, and ask what kinds of food safety precautions take place on the farm and also when transporting the goods. Beyond produce, make sure items like eggs and meat are properly chilled at the market. Ask whether milk and cheese is pasteurized to kill harmful bacteria. Unpasteurized milk can pose risks, especially for children, older adults, and pregnant women. Meat should go in a separate bag from produce to avoid cross-contamination. When you get home, wash hands with warm water and soap before and after preparing fresh produce. Wash fruits and vegetables under running water before eating, cutting, or cooking. The FDA doesn't recommend washing with soap, detergent, or commercial produce washes. And refrigerate cut or peeled fruits and vegetables within 2 hours of preparation. Karen Kafa, CNN, Washington.
The news is just now getting started. Here's what we're working on at 4:30.